ability to sort of make an impact. And thirdly, your ability to network aggressively.
Absolutely.
So many people fall short of that, particularly women, because they're so tied down to home and they're pretty much working in two shifts. So they go out and work and then they come back and have to take care. So while men can go and network, visit a pub, have a drink, a beer, make friends, and so on and so forth, the opportunity is not there. So in a sense, maybe it's not a level playing field unless the situation changes. And we should ask Sachin what he thinks about this as a young man. Sachin, you agree with me or you don't?
I do agree, sir. Yes. So yeah, opportunities for women. Well, not so much, I would say, in the metros, right? In the metros, I feel it's opportunities are equal. In fact, sometimes I'm jealous of some of my women colleagues in the workforce because in the last 2 or 3 companies where I have worked, there has been special programs to groom women leaders, but there has been no special program to groom male leaders. Okay, so from that perspective, I used to think, we talk about equality, and on our women colleague talk about equality, but somehow we felt that we are lagging behind in the corporate world, right? And most companies are now looking for women at the board level and so on. For entrepreneurship, I definitely agree, right? And there are a few things that need to happen. You have to be financially secure, or most of our parents, for example, they don't like this idea of starting on your own and so on, right? So you don't just have to convince yourself; you have to convince your family as well. So that is where I think is a challenge, and I don't think it's just in India, but it's probably all across the world, right? It is a risky decision. You don't know what is going to happen and so on, especially in India. If you fail, and 80% of companies fail in 2 years of inception, right? And failure is not looked at as good in India. In other countries, so in US it's perfectly fine, and right, so an entrepreneur goes, tries something, doesn't get, he or she will get a good job somewhere else. But here in India, it becomes difficult, right? Your colleagues would have got one promotion and then you have to join back at the same level. So there are challenges like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to welcome Professor Pramod Deshpande, who just joined us. Professor Tyagarajan, how are you doing? And we have, nice to see you. And we're pretty much ready to go, maybe in a few minutes. So I want Dr. Sandeep and Srivani to weigh in on this. What do you think about? So my point is, it's not just entrepreneurship; it goes way beyond that. What are your thoughts?
I think first of all we have to realize, hello to all the faculty and attendees gathered here. As an engineering manager of a few decades in the past, and now as an entrepreneur in a very unregulated space such as Indian music, I feel that it's normal to feel that there are programs now targeted at women. What about our young men coming forward? We feel this about any group of people that's trying to catch up, that the pendulum has to swing a little farther on the other side. As a woman, I certainly feel that about programs that are targeted more at trans women, at women that belong to a certain group of people, maybe women of color, so on and so forth, that get the better grants, the bigger grants. The pendulum has to swing the other way for a few years in order for it to settle at a better, a new mean position for all of us. And it's just nice to be gathered here with, we need not be like-minded people, but we have a like-minded purpose towards the same goal of leveling the playing field as much as possible. And then encouraging the fact that, I don't know if this is my bit, this is not my speech, so
go for it.
But I feel that women-led teams need to feel the confidence to operate a little differently. Women intuit differently. And it's a challenge to create the space that we need in order to put together these techniques that are natural to us. Because the modeling is all by male, several decades of male managers. Books have been written modeling those. To feel confident that I think and feel differently about how to go about this and to own that process, I think is a bigger challenge. And to create space at the table. It's very easy for women to put forth proposals and to be mansplained or not given credit. So to kind of put yourself at the table and create space, as some of the women here are, I think is important.
Absolutely great. But I also need, we must ask Sandeep and Sachin. This is a question that has intrigued me, and maybe it's about the model. Like you said, why there are so few women in the IITs? And maybe that's an explanation. So I think this
Yes.
is an exam made by
Not,
women.
I don't think it's true anymore. One thing is, just the challenge itself, right? So these days, I feel getting into an IIT just doesn't require intelligence, but it requires some kind of process as well, right? You have to go to different coaching institutes, you have to give these tests by FITGI and so on. That's what you used to do at our times, right? And that required you to go out, maybe study with friends late at night and so on. And again, here I'll say, women don't get that kind of exposure or chance, right? They will study, they will study on their own. Maybe they will do a few tuitions, but not as much as a male student can do, probably. So that is one. The other thing is probably, a lot of women may not even want to go to IIT. And I have seen this, right? They would say, oh no, I want to choose something which is near to my home, right? Or I just want to, go to this college. I don't want to go into an IIT and deal with all the pressure. So that's my take. I don't know, Dr. Sandeep, what do you think?
Yeah, okay.
So I graduated from IIT in 1988. So I'm going to say that respectfully. I may not know the current context very well. So all my answers will go back to what happened in 1988. So I think I'm going to listen more today.
Brilliant. So Dr. Tiwari, are we good to go?
Yes, sir, we are good to go.
Please.
So, good evening to all the panelists and all the attendants today. My name is Rakhi Kesharwani, and I'm going to start the program right now. So, by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, empowering women is a prerequisite for creating a good nation. When women are empowered, society with stability is assured. Empowerment of women is essential as their thoughts and their value systems lead to the development of a good family, good society, and ultimately a good nation. Acura is a women-led entrepreneurship club of DSU, which aims at specially developing women of tomorrow who are confident, resilient, and informed. So we believe that the synergy of collaboration leads to learning and development to a great extent. India is a country and needs women entrepreneurs to narrow the gender gap and the contribution to the changing corporate culture. So, few lines about the Jade Krishnamurthy business plan competition. So, the aim of the Jade Krishnamurthy competition of Acura is to enable people to succeed. We are here to encourage and support you throughout this transformation journey. So, first, I would like to call upon our Dean, Professor Captain Nagaraj Subarao, to speak a few words. But before that, I would like to introduce him. Professor Captain Nagaraj Subbarao, or Captain as we fondly call him, is a master mariner with a specialization in navigation, dredging technology, and ocean engineering. He holds an MBA and MPhil degree in human resource management with specialization in leadership and strategy from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, USA. He has commanded state-of-art ships while in Merchant Navy through a career spanning 22 years. He has led teams through adverse conditions and has a wide international experience. He has worked the world over through Europe, China, Southwest and Southeast Asia. For the last 13 years, he has been an academician as a professor of strategy, organizational behavior, and human resource management, with senior administrative positions across academia, including that of Dean Academics. He has consulted in the areas of leadership, organizational culture, and ocean engineering. He has worked on some of the largest engineering projects in the world, which includes the Palm Island of the Dubai coast. He has commanded ships with multinational crews and has developed a deep understanding of team dynamics and issues pertaining to cross-cultural management. And there's more. He has co-founded a marine...
Rocky, thank you.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Over to you.
Most of the folks here know me quite well. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So good evening to our distinguished guest for the evening, Mishirupa Chaudhary, Dr. Jade Krishnamurthy, and Jade, joining us from Seattle in the United States. My faculty colleagues, staff, and students, happy Independence Day. So in 1947, our British colonizers left us as a desperately poor country, racked with multiple issues. Despite their misgivings on our ability to govern ourselves, we have thrived. However, India's growth story has left behind a key demographic: women. Despite improvements in social parameters, India's growth does not translate to the economic inclusion and development of women. Rather, women's participation in the labor force has stagnated and is expected to decline further because of labor trends, technological disruption, and constraining social barriers. This is alarming to say the least. In the coming decade, India will have the largest working age population in the world with over 1 billion people, the so-called demographic dividend. This demographic dividend, when combined with an increasingly educated population, has the potential to transform India's economic and social development. However, the private and government sector alone have not been sufficient in generating required jobs. Entrepreneurship among women is a vital component of the overall solution. I think that is pretty much a no-brainer. It not only boosts the economy through job creation, but also delivers transformational social and personal outcomes for women. Today, India has about 16 million women-owned enterprises, representing approximately 20% of all enterprises. While large in absolute numbers, these are overwhelmingly comprised of single-person enterprises. And how would you define entrepreneurship is, of course, left for you to decide, which provide direct employment for an estimated 22 to 27 million people. Further, a number of enterprises reported as women-owned are not, in fact, controlled or run by women. A combination of financial and administrative reasons leads to women being on paper owners with little role to play. Benchmarks from high-performing countries and Indian states provide a good yardstick for India to accelerate overall female entrepreneurship. Accelerating quantity and quality of entrepreneurship towards such benchmarks can create over 30 million owned women enterprises, of which 40% can be more than self-employment. So you get the general drift. We are in a state where women entrepreneurship is not something that is nice to hear about, but it's absolutely necessary if this country is to forge ahead and find a place for itself amongst the developed nations. Achieving this visionary but realistic goal requires understanding the barriers facing the various types of women entrepreneurs across the landscape in this country. Specifically, we see about 6 distinct segments of entrepreneurs which exhibit different characteristics based on whether they are scaled, small or solo, urban or rural, and engaged in agriculture or outside. Many of our students come from an agricultural background, and so probably we can see them taking up opportunities in that sector. There are 4 opportunity areas to unlock the potential of women and entrepreneurship in India. They are level the playing field for the high impact employment creating entrepreneurs, enable the willing middle, the ambitious solopreneurs and small business owners to scale and become high impact entrepreneurs, expand the funnel to get more women to start enterprises, which is one of the reasons why we have this whole event, build, strengthen and scale productive rural agripreneurs, which is very important for this country. We believe that women entrepreneurship is a potential game changer in the fortunes of several Indians and the country at large. When Dr. Jade Krishnamurthy and his wife, Srivani, brought this idea to me, I was as excited as they were. At Dayananda Sagar University, our ethos is education for all. We are not an elite organization, but believe that the normal Indian can make a difference. In what better way can we express this egalitarianism than by launching the Jade Krishnamurthy Business Plan Contest on the day of our independence? The symbolism is deliberate. Thank you all for being part of this brilliant initiative. I wish the club mentor for Acura, Dr. Shweta Tiwari, all success, and I'm sure that we are laying the foundation for an outstanding initiative here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain. Thanks a lot. So let's move forward, and I would like everyone, all the panelists, to please switch on their camera so that at least we can have a virtual photograph of us. So I would like to move forward to Mishirupa Chaudhary, and she's our next chief guest and the speaker of this event. I would like to just introduce her. Graduated from one of the top law schools, NUJS, Kolkata, served as in-house lawyer to the $19 billion Mahindra Group, founded law firm and Uber for law platform, which was invented by Sugar Ventures, Singapore, scaled to over 2 million users. Also founded the award-winning Bribe Hackers Initiative, India's only anti-bribery legal solutions, supported by World Justice Project. Paper on access to justice has been included in prominent discourses around the world. In 2019, launched BW Legal World, the legal media vertical for BW Business World, a legacy media group in India. Honors Dell Social Innovation Challenge, Popular Choice Award, Texas, Reswell Foundation Young Founder, Berlin, Entrepreneur of the Year Award, District Magistrate Office, Southwest Delhi, a Young Working for a Better World Award, Women Economic Forum, Action for India Forum, Top Social Entrepreneurs, India Delegate, Global Entrepreneurship Summit 2019. Featured on India Today's 42nd anniversary issue in the cover story, Top 42 Millions Transformation India, youngest speaker at the biggest rule of law conference in the world, World Justice Forum 2017, and the youngest India delegate at the International Anti-Corruption Conference, Brasilia 2012, and policy members of 2 council in CII, India's largest industry chamber, and in several policy consultants. Thank you, ma'am. Looking forward for the kind words from you.
Thank you so much for that glorious introduction, Rakhi. And a warm welcome to all the students who have come to this launch event, and thank you to the Dayananda Sagar University and the organizers for inviting me to this August event. I'm truly privileged to be able to address the students at the start of a women entrepreneurship competition. And as a woman entrepreneur myself, to be able to share my journey and how I became an entrepreneur. Now, the irony is that while I'm here to speak to students who will be applying for this business plan competition, I myself started my entrepreneurship journey quite by accident at an entrepreneurship competition such as this 10 years back when I was a student. I was in one of India's top law schools, and in our law school, there was no concept of entrepreneurship at that time, at least. And all we were told is how to get the best corporate job starting out at the best law firm or go into practice. So entrepreneurship happened to me quite by chance. Some of my friends who were in an engineering school had chanced upon a business plan competition such as this. And for whatever reasons, they felt that I could add value in their team. The team could be cross-university in that case. So we formed a team, and the reason I literally went into that is because of the prize money, and I have no shame in admitting this today. And at that time, it seemed like a great idea. There would be some pocket money on the side from the prize money if we won it. And it was a new experience, and I've always been up for new experiences. As luck would have it, we won our first business plan competition, and my life changed forever. Even at that time, I was still stuck on the whole idea of wanting to do a corporate job out of law school. So business plan competitions were something that I took on the side just for the extra experience or learning and things like that. Again, a chance coincidence, applied to a global business plan competition after that, still a student. And we won that as well. And I was given a full scholarship to go and study entrepreneurship for 3 weeks in Boston, among some of the most inspiring change makers from around the world. Again, something that changed me completely, or as my parents like to put it, made me crazy for the rest of my life. Of course, Indian parents, middle class, and wanting to do the best they can for their daughter, wanting me to do the 9-to-5 corporate job. I did start out in a corporate in Mahindra, finished my executive program from Harvard. But at the back of my mind, I always wanted to do something of my own. I think that student entrepreneurship stint that I did completely transformed me. So eventually I quit my corporate career and started up on my own. Again, back to zero, living on life savings, completely difficult journey, having bootstrapping my startup, not enough networks. One of the things that people don't really understand about entrepreneurship is the importance of knowing the right people, the networks that you need to be able to get your startup off the ground. And at that point of time, I didn't have any of this, but somehow struggled through it and didn't give up. One of the things that I will advise any student who wants to become a full-fledged entrepreneur is that you have to be okay to be persevering and not to give up on that journey. Some things led to another, and eventually the startup did acquire funding from a venture capital firm in Singapore. At the same time, I was also working parallelly on a non-profit initiative, which is India's first legal helpline for bribery cases, which was very well received, which got grants from global organizations and got covered in multiple magazines and publications around the world. Somehow, even through all of this struggle, these small victories kept me going, or else I think I would have succumbed to the pressure or the lure of a corporate career long back. Eventually, I also moved on to business world, where I launched the legal media vertical. And all I can say is that entrepreneurship does not just prepare you for starting off something on your own, but it also prepares you for business roles in corporates. Because when I joined a prevalent media house, I was tasked with starting something new for them, starting a new business line, starting something new, and using my entrepreneurial experience to be able to do that. Post that, I have again moved back to the startup ecosystem, started a new product. And very recently, we were one of the top shortlisted startups from Bangalore for the global competition of TIE, which is the Indus Entrepreneurs, a global in a network of entrepreneurs. So through all this, one of the things I felt, and I do agree with Professor when he says that it's difficult for women because they are not taught to network. As women, we are also taught to play it safe, right? We are raised to be good people, make the family happy. And a lot of times people would say, why don't you do a 9 to 5 job? Because you'll be able to come back and give time to your family. And literally as an entrepreneur, you're working 9 to 5 and then 5 to 9, which is 5 p.m. to 9 a.m., right? So you're always on it. And the whole premise is that it's good enough for you to work. Why do you have to work so hard? Why do you have to do so much extra? And the reason for that is something which is very internal, right? As an entrepreneur, I want to do it, and that's my only reason. But if the family or the societal structure does not accept that, then it becomes very difficult for a woman to be an entrepreneur. I will close. I think my time is up, and I will just want to close by saying that as women, some of you will take this opportunity of this business plan competition to become entrepreneurs, maybe straight out of school. Some of you will do jobs and someday want to become an entrepreneur. Some of you will want to do it on the side for some time till you can make the switch. All of this is valid. As a woman entrepreneur, you have to understand that you have to be okay to fail. Men are taught to take risks and be bold. And sometimes as women, we push ourselves back by saying, I don't want to fail. I don't know how it's going to affect my family or my friends, and I don't know how to do that. But you have to be okay with that. And you have to, be okay with all the questions that people are going to ask you. And as an entrepreneur, you will have your own identity. So as, to close off my speech, the joke goes, how do you know an entrepreneur at a party? And the answer to that is they will tell you themselves. So best of luck to all of you on your journey. And I'm so privileged to be addressing you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving on to our chief mentor and architect, Dr. Jade Krishnamurthy, sir. He is the first dean of AACSP Accredited School of Business at University of Washington, Bothell. This role involves managing the School of Business as its chief academic and administrative officer with primary responsibility for faculty, students, curriculum, budgets, and external engagement. He received his PhD from the University of Arizona in marketing with a minor in economics in 1996. He received a PGDBM, which is equivalent to MBA, from XLRI and a BTech in chemical engineering from IIT Bombay. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. I, along with Srivani, are just so excited to be here. They say that all of us have thoughts, but very few people have the capacity to take those thoughts and convert them into actions. So my thanks to Captain Nagaraj for taking our ideas and giving them shape and really getting the community excited, around this direction. So we will forever be in your debt, sir, for this dynamism in such short order. And it is wonderful to see so many faculty members from Dayananda Sagar involved. We believe that this is ultimately a community that can achieve this. So to all the professors, and especially the professors such as Shweta Tiwari, who are deeply involved in this, we thank you for your commitment on this journey. Also, I've had the pleasure of briefly interacting with Dean V.V. Rajan. Thank you, sir, for your help and your commitment to the students. We really appreciate it. Overall, we believe that there are, it is, first of all, it is very difficult to follow Srirupa, who I think we just look at her and say, oh my God, this is why we are doing this. We want her to be the role model for all of you. And I think that's wonderful that she spoke so eloquently, before us. But to all the students, I think along the lines of what has already been said, we believe that you are already getting excellent business knowledge. But in every MBA program in the world, this is true, that students, when they get a job, they only apply 1/1000th of what they have learned. The failure is in the application. The knowledge that you're receiving is really good, but you have to learn how to apply the knowledge into a business context. And yes, that application can be in terms of taking up a job, but entrepreneurship can be a fantastic, energizing and growth opportunity, for all of you, where every time you're learning something in a class, if you learn something about strategy, you can apply it there. If you learn something about operations, marketing, finance, accounting, whatever it is, you can apply it there. So I hope this is an avenue for you to apply that. So this idea was jointly envisioned between me and Srivani, and so I wanted to briefly introduce her to the community. Srivani Jade is, of course, my wife, but also she like me, grew up in India, got an undergrad degree in electrical engineering there, got a master's in electrical engineering from Colorado State University, and then went along to pursue her passion, which is Hindustani classical music. Today she is a leading singer in the Kirana Gharana. In addition to that, she is the executive director of a prominent Hindustani classical organization called Ragamala, and so she is a non-profit CEO, is how I think of her. So I would invite Srivani to share her passion and her lessons, for the students. Srivani, over to you.
I'm smiling because this is the most formal interaction that we've had as husband and wife. And the more we share a panel, one has to get used to this. I think between Srirupa's wonderfully sparkling speech and Sandeep's points, my speech is blown, and that's for the best. I wanted to reiterate that it is a delight to get started with this. Because as we call, the khayali pulao goes on in the head for a long time, ki ye hota to kitna acha hota, if we could all put our resources together and come together, put diverse minds together to effect a common change or just a small step forward, that would be lovely. And without the partnership of all of you vibrant people that we see on screen and all the attendees here with your eyes and ears open, this first step also would not have been possible for us sitting here. So thank you for partnering with us. I would like to add just one small thing, kind of taking Srirupa's message forward, or even laterally, I think, is it's entrepreneurship programs and workshops are very easily accessible to people from elite schools everywhere. And I was very happy to hear in Captain's speech that they believe in a mission of education for all, and oftentimes many of the students, including women students, come from very humble backgrounds. That's very key because I think entrepreneurship is somewhat innate to all of us. It doesn't need to be something which is a very elitely trained skill. We all want to make something great out of the ingredients that we have. How hard can that be? It's hard because we don't believe in ourselves and don't. So my mantra for myself over the years as I've transitioned careers and industries is understand your process really, really well. Don't be blindsided. B, trust your intuition. A lot of times inside of you whether something is headed in the right direction, whether it's gathering momentum, whether the partners are working out all right, whether the marketplace is ready for you, whether, so many things. Trust your intuition. And third and most important, and I'm reiterating Srirupa's points here, is that fail early. Fail many times, fail early, and learn from that process. I think risk aversion is kind of antithetical to entrepreneurial behavior. So I think these 3 points are my simple mantra for moving forward in unknown waters. And I hope this stands you in good stead. And all the very best to all the faculty, advisors, and students involved in this process. Thank you.
Thanks, Srivani. Finally, I would say that for the students, if any of you are having even a little bit of a doubt, please register right away. This is a good thing. This is going to be a great and dynamic change in your life. We wish all of you the very best and look forward to being with you in this process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. Now the competition details will be further shared by Professor Shweta Tiwari, ma'am.
Thank you. So, as we have been discussing, Acura is more of a learning and motivating platform for women who wish to have their own organization. So we together aim at giving a seamless platform to inculcate confidence and self-sufficiency to its participants. Broadly, we'll be having 6 workshops which are designed to be highly informative and hands-on, so that every participant in the competition has a takeaway at the end, whether you win or lose, irrespective of that. So this competition is not just about the outcome, but it goes beyond these parameters in the sense that it will be developing or grooming each participant to be a better version of themselves. Further, we are launching this club today, and the competition stretches to the end of this year, that is December. We have the first prize as INR 50,000 from Dr. Jade Krishnamurthy and Shrivani ma'am. Jaro Education has INR 25,000, and several other small prizes like the Dean's Prize, etc. So these will not only align with the outcomes aimed, but also keep you motivated. So at the outset, we will be conducting workshops of ideation, women entrepreneurship, business plan, strategy, value proposition, marketing your ideas, and developing a business model canvas, where you will be expected to come up with your ideas and then form groups based on your interest in those ideas. So we would be meeting again for more details post the workshops are conducted. And with this, I would like to tell you that it is a great opportunity to come up and participate in and learn together and grow both individually as well as in groups. Further, I would request Rakhi to pitch in.
Thank you, ma'am. We have over 6 workshops which are specifically curated for all the competitions for the participants. I would now like to share the profiles to you all. First off, we have Professor Rajat Rashmi. She is your powerful choices coach. She is a chartered accountant with mixed bag of experience and now chooses to be a speaker, trainer, and a coach. She is a certified trainer from the prestigious Blair Singer Training Academy. She's a founder director of Samvad, the Leadership Dialogue LLP. She has 18 plus years of work experience in various profiles, including consulting, corporate, NGO, and teaching. And her interest area is in training and helping women achieve their full potential through powerful choices making. She feels that her journey as a woman has been full of contradictions. So her training programs are designed to address contradictions faced by women and to bring a positive change, helping them to be leaders of their lives. Her greatest strength is her positive mindset and her creativeness. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And I'm quite humbled in the presence of Mishirupa ji and Shrivani ji and Sandeep ji. And thanks for this opportunity, Captain and Professor Rajan. So I had not really prepared what I would speak, and I was noting down some things. And one of the things that really stuck with me, which both Shrivani and Shrirupa mentioned, is that women are scared of failing. Now, what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who breaks molds, and then they go out to implement it against all odds. And that entails hundreds and thousands of failures before they succeed. And definitely when I train people or I coach people, I see that fear of failure is one. There is another aspect that I see in entrepreneurs that holds them back, which is that initially they do break the molds. But the moment they see the first success, the entire world is telling them what to do. And eventually, after implementing it for long enough, they get bored of their venture. And they're like, okay, chuck it. I want my life to go straight because I started it with something else. So one of my endeavors as a business coach is that I hold my coaches back. I say, you're not going to implement something someone tells you. Tell me if that's what you want to do. Think about it. And that, because I want to save their venture and them, right? Because that's an entity, and our somehow our whole entity attaches to that business that we do, and we have to understand that. So there are some very disturbing facts about this world. We all know how women have been treated and things like that. Here is an example that will wake us up. Okay, so Nikola Tesla lived in the years 1956 to 1943. So from the 1956 start of our Indian struggle for, that was 1957, yeah, to 1943, somewhere close to Indian independence. Now, this person never married, never spent much time in the company of women. And this is what he has to say about women. That, the tendency of women to push aside man, supplanting the old spirit of cooperation with him in all affairs of life is very disappointing to me. He got really impacted by the fact that women were pushing aside limits, while Tesla himself was a limit pusher. He was pushing every limit that was assigned to him as a human, but he could not see the same being done by women. So we are living in a world with contradictions. We do have a lot of challenges. And I say that, Homo sapiens, and if Neanderthals were looking at Homo sapiens and said that, I wonder how they can live in bigger tribes. It's not the way to look at, compare, right? Because there are two races. Similarly, the way today's women are and the way they have been in the past, it's like a complete paradigm shift. And we are looking and trying to create something that has never existed. At least research have not yet proven why women was always, subservient to men in every culture, every ethnicity, every demography, every part of this planet, even today and for thousands of years. There have been only thousands of years of existence for humans. So that's where I'll rest my case. We have a lawyer here, so I love doing this. So thanks for this opportunity, and I really look forward to working with women on this. And I want to really thank you, Dr. Sandeep and Ms. Shrivani, for giving the girls this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. We now have Professor Pramod Deshpande. He is the founder of CMD JJ Active Private Limited. It is a tech for fitness startup. He has over 34 years of experience in providing tech solutions for insurers across the globe with companies like Accenture, HP, and many more. He holds a master's degree and PGDCA and certification managing technology innovation from IIMB. Over to you, sir.
Hi, I hope I'm audible, and happy Independence Day to all of you. And like the Captain said, it's very opportune time that we are doing this workshop or kicking off this workshop. And like Rashmi, I didn't plan what I'm going to say, and I'm happy that I didn't do that because there is so much to learn from Shri Rupa or Shrivani, and my topic is going to be ideation, right, for this workshop. And like Shrivani have said, every one of us is an entrepreneur, right? From school times, as a kid, we are trying to do some entrepreneur. We racket something and try to do some entrepreneur. But all these ideas get hampered because of self-doubt and hesitation. And like all of you were talking about how women are being told to be under some sort of boundaries, that hesitation or that self-doubt is more. So I plan to look at this workshop more from allowing as many ideas to come forward without questioning any, being judgmental about that. And that's anyway the process of ideation. So that's what I think I will be trying to do. Now everybody has given some example about entrepreneurship and all of that. So I would like to give one example of how idea changes things. And this example is from completely other sphere. Yeah, women were not allowed to run marathons till 35 years back. Yeah, that idea was not at all in their head that they should be running. And men have been doing marathons for 108 years or more. So somebody broke that about 90 years back, ran. So the comparison between men and women, the timing is 1 hour 11 minutes. But what happened 35 years back? Some women took upon them, break that barrier. And that idea now had gone to such an extent that the gap within 35 years between men and women marathon timing from 1 hour 11 minutes has come down to only 15 minutes. So that's the power of idea. If you get that idea, if you put your effort behind it, that's how women can change and transform the entire narrative. And I just thought that example might be a good example to give to the student, that how things can be changed if you get one idea. So looking forward to exchange a lot of ideas with all the students who will be joining this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. So now moving forward to Professor Jitendra Patri. So Professor Jitendra Patri, with the specialization in marketing and finance from IIM-B EGMP program, is a retailer and marketing professional. With a little over 25 years of experience, he has gained his learning in organizations like Futures Group, JWT, SAP, amongst others. Over the last couple of years, he has worked with early stage startup, mentoring the founders to drive strategy and growth. At DSU, he teaches courses on marketing, entrepreneurship, and innovation for trimester 2 and trimester 4. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And I think I'm humbled and privileged to be part of this august audience here, and privileged to be associated with this competition. Just to take off from one of the statistics that Captain narrated, and he said just 20% of the ventures are owned by women. On the flip side, if you really look at it, and this I quote from a research report that was developed by Google and Bain, which said that entrepreneurial ventures run by women, if given the right kind of support and right kind of guidance, can generate and add close to 150 to 170 million jobs, which I think is a phenomenal number and adds only to India's economic growth. Having said that, I think with so many ventures, entrepreneurial ventures mushrooming up every day, it does also become tough for a lot of these first timers and freshers who are entering this world. So hopefully my session will try and orient them towards saying how you do your marketing of the startup with practically nothing, right? And how do you think, innovatively to kind of develop those marketing strategies to ensure that your startup really gets that gets off the ground and gets and is made visible. Right? So thank you, Captain, and thank you so much, Dr. Sandeep and Srivani, for this. And I would like to end with just one small quote, which I came across after reading a blog by Mark Cuban. He says, everybody tells you follow your passion, follow this, do that, but he says don't follow your passion, follow your efforts. And I'll tell you why, and why he said that. And I found it actually pretty insightful. He says, when you work hard at something, you become good at it. When you become good at doing something, you'll enjoy it more. When you enjoy doing something, there is always a good chance that you'll become passionate about it. So when you're good at something, passionate, and work even harder to excel, and become the best at it, good things start to happen. So I'd like to end here and welcome and obviously wish the students and Dr. Professor Shweta Tiwari the very best, and looking forward to interacting with you soon. So end here with this quote by Mark Cuban: "Don't follow your passion, but follow your efforts." And I'm sure fantastic things are going to happen. Thank you so much, and good evening to all of you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So now I would like to introduce Professor Sachin Kumar Manchi. He is an industry leader in data science with a track record of leading high-performing data science teams and developing enterprise-scale data science products leveraging advanced analytics and machine learning. He has co-founded a company, Accelerate AI, with the vision to transform data science education in India. In his 17 plus years of corporate experience, he has led various leadership positions and has worked in e-commerce, logistics, maritime, and information technology. Most recently, he served as the head of data science and maritime and trade business group at IHS Markit and led the development of analytics products portfolio of the group. He is a regular speaker at industry conferences and academic institutions. He has a Bachelor of Technology degree from IIT Kanpur, an MBA from University of Georgia, a top 10 public university, and a postgraduate diploma in Big Data Analytics from IIM Bangalore. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Raki. Thank you so much. And hi, hello, everyone. Wish you all a very happy Independence Day. This couldn't be a better day to start this competition than today. So I'm very, very excited about all of this. I heard many of you say a few things. Somehow, we also tangentially saw this was becoming more of a men versus women kind of a competition. So what I'll say is, nature has made women better than men. Do you all know that? Women are better at multitasking. They have better immunity than men. Okay. So, I'm jealous of all of you that you will be taking this competition and you're getting all this education for free as well. So, I do feel more jealous about that as well. Because, I am spending a lot of money and going to these conferences to learn about entrepreneurship, and this is all coming to you for free. So all I'll say is enjoy the journey. Don't think too much about it. Don't think whether you will win a prize or not win a prize. Just enjoy the journey. Give your best. And then, whatever happens, happens, right? But it's a journey. Maybe it will help you be more confident in your interview next year. Maybe 5 years down the line, you will nurture your idea and become an entrepreneur and come up with the next unicorn. Anything is possible. Don't think too much. Just enjoy the journey. So that's all I'll say. Thank you, Raki. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Next up, we have Professor Tyagarajan, sir. He's a founder and CEO of TripYour, the smartest corporate travel platform that everybody loves. And he has a bachelor degrees from BITS Pilani and the master's degree in K-State University, both in computer science. He started his career as a developer with startups in Silicon Valley and later grew into a product leader with Motorola, Qualcomm, and Mobileum. He's the marathon runner and loves adventure sports, and he's into spirituality and philosophy. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thanks a lot for a generous introduction, and happy to be with you all this evening. So I'll just say a couple of things. See, in my, let's say, career spanning corporate life, startup life, as well as an entrepreneur, I can vouch for the fact that being an entrepreneur is the one that gives you the self-actualization. If you all remember Maslow's hierarchy, I can vouch for it. Corporate life is good, great, but when you become an entrepreneur and you run a company of your own for an extended period of time, it just opens up so many things for you. So in that sense, I'm so happy that this event is being conducted to support entrepreneurship among women. And secondly, being an entrepreneur, if you look at women, I go to a lot of startup events and so on. The representation is really low, and it is really sad to see that. In that sense, it's so great that this event is being conducted only for women, and that's really wonderful. And to take off on what Sachin was saying earlier, I also believe women are in general better managers, better to run things. In fact, I read recently, even during the COVID crisis, the countries run by women. You take New Zealand, Taiwan, and Germany. It was pointed out that they were outliers, compared to countries run by men, in terms of how well they were controlling COVID, how well they were managing their countries. So if women can perform at that level, at international level in politics and governing a country, think what they can do in a commercial environment as being an entrepreneur, running their own companies. So I fully believe in the maximum potential that women have, much more than what men can do. And I wish all of you all the best. And I look forward to sharing whatever I learned during my past 5 years of entrepreneurial journey, about all the mistakes I made, about all the falls I had taken, so that you can learn from my mistakes and my experience. And hopefully it'll all help you in your entrepreneurial journey. So wish you all the best, and happy to be here as part of this elite group. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you everyone for attending this session. It's been a great pleasure hosting this. We would like to inform that the participants going forward, we are conducting 6 workshops, and you will be informed over email and WhatsApp about the same. And the first workshop will be held by Professor Rashmi ma'am on powerful choices, followed by ideation, which will set the tone. That is, you will have to form groups. We also urge you to join the WhatsApp group, which was sent out in the email. This is mandatory for all MBA students, and executive MBA students can be part of it by choice. We want to thank.
Rashmi, just a minute. Shweta, Dr. Tiwari, is it true that women teams can co-opt a couple of male colleagues?
Yes, that is true.
Not in leadership positions, but they can as advisors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to know what is your grand plan for the whole event. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rashmi, please go ahead.
We want to thank the Dean, Professor Captain Nagaraj Subbarao sir, for this opportunity, along with Dr. Jade Krishnamurthy sir, for supporting us in this endeavor. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And I want to thank both Mishirupa, Srivani, Sandeep, Pramod, Sachin, Professor Tyagarajan, Jitendra, my good friend, Rajat. We have been colleagues for many years now. I've known Tyagarajan for probably over a decade, I think now. So it's been a wonderful journey. And of course, we need to mention our catalyst, Professor Venkata Varadarajan, who is a great friend and colleague who sort of keeps everything in line. He is the CEO of the school in many senses. Yeah. And thank you, Rakhi, as well as Rashmi, and for this wonderful, the way in which you hosted this event, and all the students. And I encourage you to take part. And I think, without sounding grandiose, I would like to believe that in many ways we are creating history here today. Yeah, and maybe in a few years we'll see some great entrepreneurs coming out from this particular program and our school. So on that note, good night, everybody, unless somebody has something to say. Mishirupa, last words to you. You're the chief guest.
Thank you so much, Professor Rao. And as you mentioned, some of these things you will see bearing fruits in some years. Some of these students will go on to start ventures maybe in a few years. Some will go on to become maybe full-time entrepreneurs right after the school. So it'll be interesting to see how things pan out for them. But most importantly, as someone said, just have fun. And congratulations to you and your team for pulling this off. And I'm so glad to be in this team of August people who are kicking this off. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
Thank you. And do stay in touch with us.
Sure.
Okay. Dr. Tiwari, is that it?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.